Hey everybody, it's Charles at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the first Treffen South. So, like I said, this was the very first Treffen car show. It was held at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and I flew down to Atlanta for the show. The very first thing that I see when I get to the show is the Bynums unloading these two beautiful GTIs. You know, whenever you see the Bynums unloading their cars as the first thing when you get to a car show, that really sets the stage and lets you know just how good the car show is going to be. Treffen was put on by Kip Love and John Hanna. You may know Kip from his interior work. If there's a Volkswagen or an Audi that wins Best Interior on an East Coast car show, you can pretty much bet that Kip had something to do with the interior. Having the show at a racetrack really does give a lot of resource to the show. You know, these cars are all parked in a garage, which made for an awesome background. They had a music going on inside the garage. There was also cars on both sides of the garage. There's even another garage that I think next year the show will wind up needing. I have to say, overall, the caliber of cars at this show was really top-notch. That green GTI that you just saw won a bunch of awards at the end. We had air-cooled, we had water-cooled, we had this air-cooled that was now a water-cooled car with a turbocharged ABA bolted into it. I believe this was a drag beetle or something like that. Ultra cool. I mean, check out how big that turbocharger is. So as you'll see from some of the pictures here in just a second, the level of vehicles that were at the show was really, really top notch. And again, you know, the Bynums bring these two GTIs. This green GTI is cool because it's like a Mopar inspired build. And then obviously the right-hand drive Harlequin is super cool, turbocharged VR6. But it wasn't just the Bynums that brought some incredibly awesome stuff. Pat Holden won a bunch of awards. Best overall, he won the Bynum Build Award, which, spoiler alert, you'll see that in just a minute. So the high level of cars was one awesome part of the show. Also, the vibe of the show was really cool. It was very laid back. Everybody was cool. Everybody was chill, just walking around, checking out cars. Very family-friendly auto show. And I think not having people driving around in the show is one of the biggest reasons for that. Plus, at the end, you've seen a clip at the very beginning of the video. Everybody, if you wanted to, got to drive your car on the track, which it made me really wish that I had, honestly, any of my cars. Heck, even the Tiguan would have been fun to drive around Atlanta Motor Speedway. You know, not quite as cool as the Cabby or the GTI or even the Passat, but it still would have been a blast. I also thought it was really sweet that Kip let his daughter pick out her favorite car for an award, and I gotta say, guys, she did an awesome job picking an incredibly cool hand-built 1.8 turbo car.
I got Haley's pick, this beautiful purple pink skateboard, but she fell in love with Steve McClure's hand-built car over there. So Steve, where you at? There he is. Thank you, handsome Steve. With best water cooled, it's going to go to Pat Holden. Pat Holden. This guy's legs are wore out for coming to accept trophies. But also on this one, I'm going to turn it over to the Bynums for their choice. They make beautiful cars. Come on. Y'all know who the Bynums are? Jeff Bynum. He has a great collection of shoes.
All right. This is just our the Colonel, who is my father, and my choice for what would embody the most well-rounded old-school build that kind of characterizes the cars that we would build ourselves. And once again, that would go to Mr. Pat Holden.
Truck, he can park always
We will all line up at the end of the track. We will all line up, single file. We will make 3 to 4 laps around the track in single file, no passing, stay behind the pace car, no acting a fool.
So as you could see, there was some really great awards handed out to some incredibly cool cars, but one of the best, coolest, awesome highlights of the day was being able to ride around Atlanta Motor Speedway in Brian's Scirocco. You know, we hit speeds up to, I think, 60 miles per hour, which we're not breaking the sound barrier or anything like that, but it was so much fun to be on the track, to see the cars behind us driving around. We happened to just be right behind the pace car, which is pretty cool. You know, you don't really appreciate how banked and how steep the angles of the turns are on a racetrack until you're in a car going 30 miles an hour and it feels like the entire car is going to tip over. But it's such a cool feeling to be on the track. If you look in the side view mirror of Brian's Scirocco, you can actually see my buddy Matthew's Jetta wagon there. So it was a lot of fun being on the track. I think towards the end, some of the guys got a little bit out of line, as in out of a single file line, and they cut it early. But we got 4 or 5 laps around the track, which I think is awesome for $10. I think it was a great way to end up, to finish up the day, and really put a cap on an awesome, awesome, awesome show. So to everybody that I met, everybody that stopped me to say hello, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. It means so much to me that you guys will take some time and come up and chat with me, to show me your car, tell me about the mods that you have. That's really awesome, and it makes all the hard work that I do for the show well worth it. Congratulations to everybody that won awards, to all the top 20 winners, and to Pat and to Steve that won Haley's award. Thanks to Matthew for picking me up at the airport, and the folks from Stone Mountain Volkswagen for driving me back to the airport. That was super cool. Brian, man, thanks for inviting me on the ride along in your Scirocco. I really appreciate that. That really did finish up and make an awesome day even better. Kip, John, great job with the show. You guys did such a good job. I really appreciate the hard work. I know everybody else that was at the show did too. We all had an awesome time. I think next year you guys are going to be blown away by how big the show gets. I will say there's one thing, guys, get some extra shirts, because I really would have liked to buy a t-shirt from you, and I didn't have a car there, so I didn't pre-register, but I know next year you guys are going to have some extra shirts and stickers for folks to buy. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, post it in the comment section below. Hey, if you like the video, throw it a thumbs up on YouTube. I always appreciate that. You can also subscribe on YouTube or on the blog at humblemechanic.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the blog, and obviously here on YouTube. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. And I'll put links to the Treffen South Facebook page, as well as to some of the other pictures that I put up. I'll put some more pictures, stills, up on the blog if you want to check that out at humblemechanic.com. And again, if you guys had a chance to meet me at the show and stop me to say hello, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. You guys are absolutely awesome. Again, I just can't tell you guys how much I really do appreciate you stopping, saying hello, and chatting with me, showing me the car you bring. Next year, I'm going to be bringing my car, and I'm not sure quite yet which one it is, but you can bet that I'll be there next year. I'm also going to try and sweet talk Kip into letting me do a Humble Mechanic Award for something cool. I don't know, something that I would just be into. So, Kip, if you watch this, man, let me know what you think about that.